So what I've got here is a Neptune X 3D printer. If you caught up on any of my other videos, you might understand that I had a little bitty problem with the extruder, and I got some very gross stuff all over it. So I was luckily able to salvage the thermistor and the heat sensor, temp sensor. So what I'm going to do is just simply replace the heater block and the extruder with the one I got in the mail. Just a little $18 kit. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was 16 or 18, but I think it came out to about 20 bucks total. Yes, this is live. Hey, what's up, Aaron? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and replace this. And shouldn't take too long. It's a pretty straightforward operation. I'm not even going to use the wiring. I am going to use the hose. When I was removing the other hose from the old one, it got pretty badly crunched up, so probably not a good idea to continue using that. So I'm just going to replace this. That's about the only thing I'm going to replace from this loom here. And then I'm going to try to reuse this piece right here. I guess I'll try to clean this off with a little bit of alcohol swab so I don't have my oily fingers all over it, since that generates a lot of heat. I don't want that kind of stuff inside the heat block. So let me see if I can get this camera to a good spot where it's perched up to where everybody can see what's going on here. There we go. And I'm just going to angle this down a little bit. Should probably do it. Tighten this down. So first things first, let's take this part off. So I'm just going to guide this off. Take that bit out of there. So tight. Can't get it out. You know what? I could probably, since I'm not going to reuse this, I'll just cut it loose. It's probably the easiest way to go. I can remove this later. I can probably just push it forward. There we go. So that hose is done. That one's done for. Let's take the bracket off of here. Pull that out. And I'm just going to slide this one out of here. Gently, gently now, gently. There we go. See what's going on. So this is the boring part. And here's the replacement parts. So what I got here is a bunch of extra tips. I'm going to use the same size that I had last time, which is I believe a 0.4 millimeter. And I'm not going to bother using these. These are fine. The guides for the hose are plenty good for what I need. But nice to have extras. And it's a Creality brand, so there you go. It's not a Creality printer, but it does use Creality parts. So if you're interested in getting one of these little Elegoo printers, not only is it pretty much a Creality clone, but it uses the same replacement bits, which is kind of convenient for me. So let me show you what's going on here with the old one. So this is what's left of my old heat block. It's pretty munched up, and honestly, I could probably clean it up, sand it, maybe recoat it or something, but it's done. There isn't too much damage on the heat sink, so that's probably good. This part right here, I don't trust the smoothness of the bore inside this tube anymore, and frankly, it's there's probably some other problems here that I think, not that I don't think the threads are stripped, but I think one of, well, might be that I know at least two of these bolts, the grub screw that went in here and one of these machine screws were stripped at the hex head. So not real easy to use. But we'll just put that aside. That'll become a robot at some point. Hello. Let's see. I am looking for the 0.4. Boy, these are tiny. Is that a 4? Anybody see a 4 on here? I think these are all 0.4. I don't think they're labeled though. That's a really tiny hose. Oh wait, maybe it is labeled. Is it labeled right there on the tip? No, it doesn't look like it. But I think they're all 4s. I could be mistaken, but that's what I ordered. Those are all brass. I'm checking all of them. So it came with 4 extras. This one looks like it might be slightly smaller. It doesn't even look like that's got a... Yeah, it does have a hole. Okay. So that one might be smaller. Well, that's a little disappointing because it would have been convenient to have the gauge of that hole printed or at least sticker labeled somewhere on this thing, but it doesn't appear to have a label anywhere. But my best guess is this is a 4. Let me double check that. So let's check this ordering slip. 0.4 nozzles. Yeah, it says all of them are 0.4. Okay, well, I gotta say one of them looks bigger than the others. I could be mistaken. Let's take a look. Those look pretty good. Probably look better than the one I had on here originally because that one was a little bit on the... Well, I was supposed to get 4 of these, but I got 5 instead. So lucky me. Is it just me or does one of these look slightly bigger than the others? Kind of like in this one. So that's the one I'm going to use. I'll put the rest of these away. And I probably should be wearing gloves so I don't get my oily fingers all over everything, but oh well, you know. Not dealing with any heat right now. I can wipe it down before I start it up. So where's my next part? Sure. All right, here's our bag. Another odd thing about this one is it came with a ton, and I mean a ton, of these silicone boots. I've already got one that actually came out unscathed. So that means I've got 5 extras. If anybody has a 3D printer and they want an extra one, let me know. I'll send you one. And it looks like they're all Creality marked too. So these are all Creality branded. Cool. Pretty sure my friend could use one. He's got a 3D printer that uses an FDM printer. And make that 6 because this one has a boot already mounted on it. Nice. And already has a tip on it. So I guess I don't have to do that either. One less thing to do. Yay. Hooray for me. All right, so first things first, let's just take the boot off. And I'm just going to loosen up this nut, or rather this screw here, to get the heat sensor out. And then I'm going to loosen up this grub screw. And then I'm very gently going to pull this thermistor out. And the reason I'm doing that is primarily because I'm lazy. I don't feel like rewiring these. The way they are set up on this particular machine, there are already clips for all of these, so I don't want to have to rewire those. I'm just going to put the ones I've got that are working, and we'll take these nice new ones and put them in a plastic bag. This, however, I might have a problem. It looks a little bit short. It looks like I'm probably going to have to order a new one. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if the old one will maybe reach. It might have been longer than I needed it. I might be able to use the old one. I didn't clip off too much of it, so it's probably okay. Let me see if I can get it back in there. And I'm going to have to fix that little pinch. So we'll get a razor blade. I've got a hose cutter I can probably use, but I think I can do this okay with a razor blade without too many issues. I'll get that out of there first. It just has to be a straight cut. So let's see what I can do. How straight? This is a pretty stiff. The trick with these is you want to get them as flat and flush as you can. At least that's my understanding. I am not by any means an expert. I am doing this for the very first time myself, so we'll see how it goes. And hopefully this is still long enough to make it all the way across. I think it should be okay. Looks like it'll reach. So we'll put it back through the same guides here in a second. Looks like it was just going through this one. I'm sure there's people who've done this a bunch of times that are probably going to look at what I'm doing and going like, oh my God, he's destroying that thing. He doesn't know what he's doing. What is he doing? Let me clip these off because I'm just going to put new ones on here and get it nice and snug. I've got zip ties laying around. I can zip tie that later. For now, I just want to get this mounted on here. Sorry about that. I kind of wanted to use this new one too, so I'm a little disappointed that it's so short. But this is designed for a different printer, so go figure. All right, just gotta find the right size hex head for this. Okay, that one looks good. All right, so first we're just gonna loosen up this one just a little bit. And that came out real easy. And then I'm gonna loosen up this other one here. All right, and hopefully it's not on too tight. It's not, nice and hand tight. It's my understanding you don't want to tighten these too much because the idea is just to keep them from falling out, not crush them. So that looks good. Hey, how's it going, whoever joined? I am just replacing a couple of pieces. So these look like they're in good condition. Nice and clean. Put that aside. Use that for a rainy day. I'm going to try to use my old one. Hopefully it's not too damaged. I don't think it is, but we'll find out soon enough. I don't see why it would be. Pretty straightforward little device. It just generates heat, basically. And I'm just going to wipe this down with some alcohol to get some of that stuff off. I don't know if that'll work, but at the very least it'll take some of the oils off of my off the tip. I don't think it's shot. Should be okay. All right. Oh, something fell. Okay. So first I'm going to put this little guy in. Well, I guess I could do it this way. Should fit in there. Don't want to damage it. There we go. Just needs to fit in right in the tip. All right, then I'm gonna tighten this one down first. Not too tight, just enough so it doesn't pop out. Okay, good. And back to this screw. And pretty much the same thing. We're just gonna sort of spread this out a little bit just to get the screw in there. And get it started in the hole. Okay, it's in there. And make sure the little head stays in. Okay, doesn't feel like that's going anywhere. Get the oils off my fingers. All right, good to go. So that's working. And we're just gonna put one of these little rubber boots back on it. Just like that. And there we go. So that took all of 5 minutes. Pretty straightforward. So let's make sure this thing's in nice and straight. Looks good. And let's see if I got enough room to guide this thing through here. Probably not, but yeah. I'll probably just have to tighten this up a little bit and use some other zip ties to get it cleaner fit, but oh well. Meantime, I'll just do this. Okay, feels like it's all the way in there. Put the clip back on. And that's it, we're done. I just got to mount this thing back in here. Looks like it goes, I want to say, this way, right? There we go, like that. So let's move this guy over this way. Get those mounting screws that I put aside and stuck to a little magnet so I wouldn't lose them. Or at least I thought I did. Here's one of them. The other one. I guess in the meantime what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and bolt it in with the screw I do have and sort the other bit out later. I don't make everybody else wait for it. But like I said, pretty straightforward operation. as long as you don't lose all the screws. That's one thing I've never been accused of, is all my screws being loose, but you know, first time for everything. Let's see, that it. There we go. That's the right size. And I'm not really certain what the size is on these. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself or look it up in a manual, because honestly, I can't even see what size these. I mean, I know these are M3s, but I don't know what the actual hex head number is. Pretty sure it just goes on like that, but something's not quite right here. I feel like something's missing, like a spacer. All right, so basically another screw goes in here, and then this mounts up here like that with these two smaller screws, and that's pretty much it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this from here on out, because I still have to do a test run on it, see if that works. So yeah, that's basically all you have to do to replace the head, apparently. Make sure you got a nice clean cut on this hose that's nice and straight and level. And then there's 2 bolts to mount here, which I'll have to look for that other bolt. And then 2 small screws to mount to this heat sink here. Or rather, this these fans over the heat sink. So, and this has got 2 cooling fans, by the way. For anybody interested in knowing what it has, actually. Feels like this one, yeah, this one came loose. So this, I'm not sure what the purpose of this stuff was. Didn't really do much. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is just pull that off, because that's useless. And I'm going to replace that with a couple of screws. I think that would be a lot more functional. Pretty straightforward, though. I think all you'd probably have to do in that case is, yeah, mount it in here like this and drill a couple small holes through it. Let me see if this is in here right. There we go. Yeah, so basically like that. I think I could probably just use my pin vise to drill a couple of small holes through this side to the plastic, and that should take care of it. And then just put a small screw in here to hold it in place. I think my little M2 screws would probably work great for that. All right, that's all I got. We'll see you later. And that's it. Bye-bye.